David Chalmers' concept of the hard problem of consciousness by Dave Marsland of Cardiff Theosophical Society. David Chalmers, born 1966, an Australian philosopher and cognitive scientist, is widely known for his work on the philosophy of mind and consciousness. One of his most influential contributions to the field is his concept of the hard problem of consciousness. This concept has sparked extensive debate and discussion within the philosophical and scientific communities as it challenges traditional approaches to understanding consciousness. Chalmers introduced the term hard problem of consciousness in his 1995 paper, Facing Up to the Problem of Consciousness. The hard problem refers to the challenge of explaining why and how certain physical processes in the brain give rise to subjective experiences or qualia. Qualia are the raw subjective feelings of experience, such as the redness of an apple, the taste of coffee, or the pain of a headache. Chalmers argues that while the easy problem of consciousness, such as explaining cognitive functions and behaviours, can be addressed through scientific inquiry and empirical research, the hard problem remains elusive. It is not a matter of simply understanding how the brain processes information or performs functions, but rather how these processes give rise to conscious experience. Chalmers distinguishes the hard problem from the easy problem by highlighting the fundamental gap between physical processes and subjective experience. He points out that even if we were to understand all the neurobiological mechanisms underlying consciousness, there would still be an explanatory gap as to why these mechanisms are accompanied by subjective experience. This poses a profound challenge to existing scientific frameworks and has led to a re-evaluation of the very nature of consciousness and its place in the natural world. The hard problem of consciousness has significant implications for our understanding of the mind, brain and reality. Chalmers' formulation of the hard problem has forced philosophers, cognitive scientists and neuroscientists to confront the limitations of current explanatory frameworks and to consider alternative approaches to the study of consciousness. By highlighting the disparity between physical processes and subjective experience, Chalmers has underscored the unique and puzzling nature of consciousness, which has often been overlooked or marginalised in scientific discourse. Moreover, the hard problem has prompted a reassessment of the relationship between objective and subjective modes of inquiry. It raises questions about the adequacy of purely objective third-person accounts of consciousness and calls for a more integrated approach that acknowledges the first-person perspective. This shift in perspective has led to a resurgence of interest in phenomenology, introspective methods and contemplative traditions as valuable sources of insight into consciousness. Chalmers' concept of the hard problem has generated a wide range of responses and criticisms from scholars across various disciplines. Some philosophers and scientists have embraced the hard problem as a necessary challenge to prevailing reductionist and materialist accounts of consciousness. They argue that the hard problem exposes the limitations of purely physicalist explanations and opens the door to alternative frameworks that accommodate the irreducibility of consciousness to physical processes. On the other hand, critics of the hard problem have raised concerns about its implications for scientific inquiry and its potential to veer into dualistic or Mysterian perspectives. They argue that while the hard problem highlights the unique nature of consciousness, it does not necessarily preclude the possibility of finding a satisfactory scientific explanation in the future. Critics also point to the progress being made in the fields of neuroscience, cognitive science and artificial intelligence as evidence that the hard problem may not be as insurmountable as Chalmers suggests. Furthermore, some scholars have proposed alternative approaches to addressing the hard problem, such as panpsychism, integrated information theory, and predictive processing frameworks. These approaches seek to bridge the gap between physical processes and consciousness by reimagining the nature of matter, information and the relationship between the mind and the world. While these alternative perspectives have their own complexities and controversies, they demonstrate the ongoing dialogue and innovation spurred by Chalmers' concept of the hard problem. In summary, David Chalmers' concept of the hard problem of consciousness has had a profound impact on the study of consciousness and the philosophy of mind. By drawing attention to the fundamental disparity between physical processes and subjective experiences, Chalmers has challenged traditional approaches to understanding consciousness and prompted a re-evaluation of the relationship between the mind and the physical world. The hard problem has sparked extensive debate, inspired alternative perspectives, and reshaped the discourse surrounding consciousness. While the hard problem remains a formidable challenge, it has invigorated interdisciplinary inquiry and fostered a deeper appreciation for the enigmatic nature of consciousness. As we continue to grapple with the hard problem, it is clear that it will remain a focal point of philosophical and scientific exploration for years to come.